The technology taking a few minutes this morning. Sorry? Great. Excellent. That really helps de-stress things if we confirm it before we hand the cases out. Good thinking. So good morning. Just working through a little bit of technology issue this morning. Person. I do welcome everybody to court. I'm going to be a little redundant until I see all the audio connects. And so, yes, I will be kind of repeating myself for a few moments because actually I see everybody on the screen. I do want to confirm just a couple of people. There's a gentleman, iPhone, glasses. Could you just unmute and tell me your name?
It'd be Shane Schweitzer.
Okay, Mr. Schweitzer, I've got you, but I don't have you on screen. The iPhone person, what is your name? Just labeled iPhone?
Alder Barrios.
No? Yes. Oh, I see. Mr. Barrios. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to change the name on the screen for this. Sorry, for this meeting. If I can type today. Got it. Okay, thank you. I'll keep you muted till it's your turn. You're on the pretrial docket. So I'm just going to give some kind of announcements. I want to let people know in just 1 second. When you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have for accusing someone. That's what a ticket is. It's an accusation. And I want to just kind of, work you through how things move through a court so that you know your options. Okay. I can't give you legal advice, which is applying the law to your case, but I can tell you how things move through a court. I have found that to be helpful so that everybody's on the same page when we sort of begin. So I'm going to give you a bunch of information, and when it's your turn, if you have questions, you can ask questions. If it's questions that are legal advice, I'll explain why I can't answer certain things. So you don't need to be nervous about questions as long as we're working respectfully with one another. It's fine. I'll just let you know if it's overstepping what I am allowed to do. Okay. So, and this is Temple Municipal Court. And the cases here, we're doing this, it's a convenience. Okay. And so I think it's kind of helpful. I'm glad we're still allowed to use this platform. We do have live settings for folks that need that. And if that's you, I'll let you know. But normally a lot of things can just be done in the convenience of home or work or what have you. And I don't really mind wherever you are, as long as whatever your background is stays respectful of the setting that we are in. Okay. So when you're given that ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have under the law for accusing someone. That's what a ticket is. And your plea, when you give a plea, you may have heard of that. If you give a plea, you're giving an answer or a response to the accusation. And there are 3 options for pleading. We are presumed not guilty. And prior to entering a plea, if you want to meet with an attorney of your choice, you do that prior to entering a plea. If you want to do that, then what you need to do is just let me know, hey, judge, don't accept my plea. I want to meet with somebody first. We don't court appoint counsel in Class C courts. And this is a Class C court. The penalties here are fines and costs being paid, or we look at alternatives if payment is truly a provable hardship. So I'll be looking at all the information that you've provided me, and I ask for it for a reason. Even if you're presumed not guilty, I get that income information, or I try to, not because I'm going to order you to pay or presume that you're guilty, but because for the simple fact that at a certain point prior to trial, I'll need to set a bond. And so I just try to get all the information I'm going to need right up front. And I try to get it once instead of having you fill out the same information on a different form doesn't help you or me. Okay. And it just makes it endlessly and needlessly confusing. So that's why, okay, you might have received requests for certain things. So let me just kind of lay out how things move through a court. So again, when you're given a citation, that's the accusation. The plea options are guilty, not guilty, no contest. Guilty really technically means as charged, I did this. Okay. I move into sentencing if you plead guilty. If you're here and you've already entered a plea, something's not working about your court order and we need to resolve it. But I'll be making a court order if you plead guilty. I'm just moving into that, way of working with you. There are some dismissal options. I'm going to go over that in a moment. No contest means I'm not contesting it. I'm not saying I did it. I'm not saying I didn't do it. I'm just not contesting it. You can move forward with me with sentencing, judge. That's what no contest effectively means. Okay. And then not guilty means I am holding on the presumption of not guilty. The state will have to prove this case against me. And you're shifting that burden to them to make that step and make that proof. That's what we call it a trial. Okay. So it is ultimately, even though it's a presumed innocence, but it's bigger than that. Presumed innocence doesn't mean we prove our innocence. It means first the state must prove at least that there's a reasonable belief that we are guilty, and then we have to rebut that if we can. So that we do that all at trial point, and we're not there. So I have people on the contested docket today, and I'll be starting that meeting here shortly in a moment. It's a breakout space because as judge of the court, I'm going to be the judge on that case, and I'm not supposed to be deciding beforehand whether you're guilty or not. I need to hear everything that's going to get said about it in the proper format in court in order to listen to those facts. So it's one of the times I will cut you off is if people start trying to talk about the facts of their case, and I know they have a not guilty plea on file, I'm required by law to stop and say, listen, we can docket things. I can tell you how things move, but I can't decide your case because we have to get you and the party accusing you together minimally, and they have to prove something first before you even have to talk about it. So that's really kind of the overview. Okay. Now, if you plead not guilty, we're moving that case toward trial, and that is partially a step we're taking today. Some cases get resolved at this level. Some cases don't. That next layer is we come into court, we do any pretrial matters, and I set a bond, and we do certain paperwork that advises you regarding what is required to be told to you regarding your rights. And I just think that that's really needs to be in person because the trial is in person, and really grasping what's about to go forward at that point. We're going to do that in court. And it doesn't take that long, but it is a setting. Okay. This is more of a setting to see if there is a resolution up front. And it's about 70% of the cases do get resolved. And so I think it's still worth the time. So that's that avenue. Okay. Guilty or no contest under the law. Normally you're found guilty, you pay the fines and costs. Okay. That's pretty simplistic. Actually on payment, that's why I want to look at your financial situation, see what's realistic for you, and everybody's circumstances are different. And I may be asking personal questions, and that's appropriate for me to do at that point. Okay. So I may be pushing on that information to try to understand it so that I make an intelligent order, right? A judge should make an intelligent order. I think we could probably agree, or do the best they can with that. Okay. So that's the general rule, but there are 4 ways to gain a dismissal, and I want everyone to know how they work. Okay. So they are compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Now let me walk you through that. Compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. So there are, like, let's say I'm driving down the road. I like this one because my mother did this. And you put on your blinker and, you make the turn. Officer stops you and says, the reason for the stop, you didn't put on your blinker. She says, but I did. I know I did. And they sort it through. And what she finally winds up with a ticket for is failure to turn on her, not failure to turn on her blinker, but the bulb is broken. So that's called defective equipment. Okay. So a lot of those defective equipment things, like if you show up on time and it's fixed, you get a dismissal. By the way, I can't sign my mother's dismissal, and you pay a dismissal fee, and I don't get to have anything to do with her case. However, that is how that compliance dismissal would work. Okay. Another example, I'll just give one more because this one comes up a lot. So you're driving down the road, you get stopped. Officer says the reason for the stop is the blinker. And oh, by the way, state database, and hey, you don't have insurance. And you go, but I know I had insurance. So come to find out something happened, you don't have insurance. And the law says if you were insured at the time of the stop, there's a dismissal option. But if you got it after the fact, there's not. Now we have a very limited workaround for the one-off that might happen. And that has to do with a written agreement in writing that I have with our prosecutor regarding how we can do those dismissals for that one-off situation. It's a very narrow parameter. And if that's you, I will be looking for those. So that's the main thing you want to take away is there's like 15 of those in the code book. I don't expect you to know all that. The law says the judge shall dismiss. I take that as a marching order to look and see if it's an option. If you think I'm missing something, though, you are welcome to ask. You won't upset me if you ask, hey, did you miss something? It's okay. Nobody's perfect. So I will do my very best to stay very present and look for those for you. That's part of what I do. So you can expect that. The second option is if you gain a dismissal through a driver safety course. And again, that's a complex statute in a certain way. It's not complicated, like everybody could understand it, but it's a lot of detail. And I don't want to bog you down with a bunch of detail, but if it's you, I'll start walking you through it to see if you're qualified and see if you want to do it. We can't force you to do it. But now's a really good time to talk about money, which is no one's favorite subject, but I do it every day. So on your ticket, you have fines and costs. So let's say you call the clerk, hey, how much is this ticket? The clerk says, I don't know, $259, right? Whoa, you say, wow, that's a lot of money. What are the options? Well, we start trying to see, hey, it's a moving violation. Let's see if you're qualified for a driver safety course option. So part of why a clerk might do that with you is every ticket has a court cost and a fine. And when you call the clerk, they give you that whole number. But if you break it down, and there's like a lot of ways to do that, but for our purposes, there are court costs and fines. Court costs are established by the Texas legislature. So the bad news is I don't have anything to do with that. We have to get them to change those. And so far, I've been doing this 20 years. I've watched court costs go from $49 to $149 in 10 legislative sessions. They've only met 10 times, and it's tripled, like it's gone up 100% 3 times. So those are set by state law. And the reason I'm telling you that is because in the driver safety course option, that you have to pay those. Okay. And there's a bit of a range. It's like 144 to 159 or 169. I'd look on each case, but those get paid. The fine is set by the judge of the court. So in the driver safety course option, if you qualify, I'll get into the details with somebody here and you'll hear me do it. You can kind of hear what happens, but you pay the court costs. That's one thing you got to prepare to do. And we'll work on when that's going to happen today, or if it needs to be a different day, we'll work on how to get you to that date and still stay qualified. The fine goes on hold and you turn in a course, you turn in a record, proper course, proper record. You get your ticket dismissed. When I dismiss it, I waive the remaining balance. It will be cheaper to pay the court costs and the record and the class than to pay the whole ticket, because I'm supposed to design it that way. And it makes sense to me. I mean, I don't just do things. I do go to classes and I figure things out. And one thing we know is that the driver is going to drive a little bit better for a period of time who's taken that class. And the reality is Texas is the #1 state for killing people under 25 and anyone who's had a ticket. And if you're 25 or under and you've had a ticket, you're in the super group for death and dismemberment on the roadway. And we are the #1 state to be hurt or killed driving. And the course is not exciting, but we do drive better after we do it. Boom, it's that simple. So that's a take nothing for the city of Temple. Some people like that thought. But the fact is you save money and you keep it off your record. So that's a dismissal option. The third one is called a deferred disposition. And listen up in case I bored you with the details. On the deferred disposition, deferred means to delay and disposition means to make final. I delay making your case final. I put a court order in place. It's a piece of paper. You will have a copy. It will list the things that you are going to be required to do to gain a dismissal. If you do them, you get a dismissal. But the thing is, you've got to request it and have it approved by the judge. The prosecutor can make a recommendation for it. Okay. You can ask on a plea of guilty or no contest. And the judge in any Class C court in Texas is authorized to approve or not approve it based on their criteria. Okay. So there's a little bit of a you don't know. Okay. So, but the trick is you have to ask. So guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred. And each time I'm asked, I'm required to look and decide. I'm not supposed to say it's always a no on these. I don't do it that way. I'm not supposed to, and I don't. So you should feel free to make that request. And it was on the form that we had you fill out, but that's too long of an explanation to fit on that paper. It is on the website. However, if you didn't know, and we're at the beginning of your case, you may still talk to me about that today. Guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred. It's really quite simple. But if you've ever watched a proceeding in a higher level court, you can't do a deferred without the prosecutor. In a Class C court, you can if you plead guilty or no contest. You can ask, okay? With the prosecutor, he can recommend it, and based on an agreement y'all have, okay? So if you're on the pretrial docket, you still can ask that prosecutor, but you don't have to get on that pretrial docket in order to ask. Does that make sense? Mostly nods. Okay. So then the final thing, and this is the fourth one, I'm finally almost to the end. Teen court is for students. It's like a deferred. There's a delay. We don't find you guilty if you do everything you're supposed to. You get a dismissal, but we put some things in place for you to do to earn that dismissal. Okay. And so if you are in high school or middle school, we'll be looking at different processes that shift the burden of penalty onto the young person. Okay. Because if you get a ticket and you're underage and your parents just come pay that ticket, you might be able to do the math on this, but I assure you, I am much more likely to see you again than if you take the responsibility on and maximize the learning potential of having landed in court. I am significantly less likely, 1, to see you again, 2, to read about you in the paper, and 3, to learn that you are escalating into higher level offenses. So it's something I take very seriously. Okay, we're pretty much ready to start. Give me 1 second to check in with the clerk that's sitting here that you can't see. Just 1 moment. That's very noisy. Okay, so I've got a little emergency happening, and you're just going to see me do this because, well, I think it's appropriate. Our prosecutor is named Ryan Matson, and Mr. Matson is, I'm just kind of worried because no one can find him. So I don't mean to disclose. I don't know what I'm disclosing because I don't know what's happened, but I just want to put a call in. His department is looking for him, and it's extremely unusual. And we've not had this happen before. So give me just a moment to see if it even rings. Well, it is ringing.
Hi, you reached Ryan Matson with the City Attorney's Office. I'm unable to take your call right now, but if you could please leave a brief message with your name, phone number, and the reason for your call, I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Mr. Matson, this is Judge Person, and we are in court, kind of concerned, I would say worried for you, and we hope that you will reach out and let us know what's happening. Oh, I see him logging in. Thank heavens. Okay. All right. Well, that's a relief. We'll let him in and let him get his bearings. Something unusual, I'm sure, happened because we've not ever had him not show up. So we'll let him get straightened out, and I will get that room ready. While we were doing that, I had a person that I let in while I was talking, and it's on a telephone, and it's 254 area code with a phone number ending in 2, somewhere the last 3 or 4 numbers is 248. Hello on the telephone. Can you unmute and tell me your name? It looks like you've unmuted. Can you talk to me?
Hello?
Yes, hi. What is your name?
Okay. It's Leticia Dunbar. My Zoom was acting up, so I had re-downloaded it. It
Okay.
just got back up, so I'm about to join in video.
Okay, very good. I'm just going to change the name on the screen, and
Okay.
I will let you know that since you're on the telephone, it's not a problem at all, but I have found that people will sometimes start tuning it out after a while, and then I call their name and they miss it. So just make sure you're paying attention, because I'll call your name, and we can do it through phone. It's not as easy, but I do it enough.
Oh, I see, because this *6 is killing me.
What is?
The *6 that you have to do to unmute. You can't just unmute. You have to press *6.
Yeah, you do. You have to do *6. I do.
Yeah.
So I should only do that to you one more time. So I will call your name out and you'll do that. I'll send you a request too to kind of prompt it, because that can help it connect. But just listen, because we'll get to you, and don't feel like you're getting forgotten. What you can't see is that I have like 14 people on here.
Right.
And so you're in a queue and everybody's just kind of hanging out for their turn.
Okay.
All right. We'll be with you soon.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And for those just tuning in, I keep everybody on mute until it's their turn. And Mr. Matson, we had gotten a little worried, so forgive me, but everybody knows that I was worried. And we're just going to go ahead and start your docket, because actually it's ready to go. So your first person is Tanisa Bernard. And Ms. Bernard, is it Bernard or Bernard?
Yes, it's Bernard.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to move you over to that breakout room like I described a few minutes ago, because again, I'm not part of that conversation. However, at the end, you will both come back into this room and we'll just kind of get an update. I'll have a few just parting remarks for you before you go today, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I'm sending you on over to that meeting. Mr. Matson also being sent over to that meeting. Let's see, trying to get it to work. Always the second half of everything. Okay, so, and then I am also moving forward with Francisco Narvaez, excuse me, Mr. Narvaez.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. And your mom, how are you, ma'am?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
I'm well. What is your name again, Mom?
Sandra Vargas.
And I think we had reset for today.
Yes.
And you were coming by to sign it last time. And then, let's see. Hold on. Okay, yeah. I'm just trying to find my thread from our previous conversation. Okay, so y'all are gonna just check into how to get the license was where I thought we were.
Yeah,
Yes.
we already started the courses.
Good.
I'm on the parent taught, but I had applied for my VOE and I got declined for the VOE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that means you're not gonna be able to get the license at this time, right?
Right.
Okay, so we need to create an alternative for teen court sentencing. And in this particular case, I think what we'll do is have you come in and we'll work on an alternative to getting the license as part of the sentence. Okay.
Okay.
Now, here's the question. Is this one of those things where y'all feel like he needs to drive, like there's an essential necessity?
Yes. So I have the 4 children, but 3 different schools, and then me having to make it to work as well. So it is very hard, difficult to try everybody to school on time in the morning.
I'm not able to, like, I'm not the licensing agent for
Yes.
for the Department of Public Safety. I don't know if they have an exception for an essential need, and especially I don't know if that qualifies.
Right.
They're extremely strict with that. I've seen people where I can't believe they didn't. It's amazing to me at times. So I wouldn't hold off on that hope. What I'm going to do in terms of teen court is, and I think we already did we do the teen court fee last time? No. Okay, there's
No.
there's a $20 teen court fee. Can we pay that today?
Yes.
Okay. And then I think that what we're going to do is have you just come back in and let's have the case manager make a recommendation to me about what might be appropriate, given that we're not going to get the license.
Okay.
What I don't like to do, I know you're like, why did we take this extra step? But the fact is, if you came back and you were getting the license, there's so much that you're doing to get that done that I count some of it. So since we can't do that, we'll just go to the next step. Okay. But I'll still allow you to do teen court, but I need a recommendation from the case manager about what they think after talking with y'all about the options available and the restraints that y'all have as a family. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when can y'all come in to do that? It's probably going to take half an hour.
To do the
interview and conversation.
We can go ahead and take care of it today.
Okay, yeah, no, it needs to be today. What time today?
Now, as soon as we can get there, that would be fine.
Okay, why don't we say 10 o'clock?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, we'll see you around 10 o'clock, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. And then I am moving forward now, let's see, yes, with Layla Maldonado. And if you could, there we go. Thank you for unmuting. How are you today, ma'am?
Great, how are you?
Good. Is that your mom or your guardian?
Yes, this is my mom.
And what's your name, ma'am? I can't see you very well.
Yeah, I'm Blanca Aguilar.
Blanca. And spell the last name?
Aguilar.
Aguilar. Okay. And I did receive a no contest plea on a no license charge. And the first question that I wanted to ask Layla is, did you understand the options for pleading guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Not really at the.
Okay. Yeah, so now the reason why I did it. At this time, do you understand those options?
Yes.
Okay. And to the driver's license charge, I originally received a no contest plea. How are you pleading at this time?
I just plead guilty.
Okay. And where are you in the process of getting your license?
So I tried starting courses like online, but it actually worked out for me. And so I was just gonna hold it off, and just, since I'm about to turn 18, I was just gonna get like my driver's license test whenever I turned 18 and just get it over with.
Okay, so I don't mind that you're doing it that way as long as you don't drive anymore, but the reality at this point is that teen court is not, that's too far out from the teen court timeline. So we'll need to do an alternative for that. There is a $20 fee for teen court. Can y'all pay that fee today?
Yes.
Okay. And then again, similarly, the case manager for teen court will need to sit down with y'all for about 30 minutes and meet with you to come up with a recommendation of what can be done to earn that dismissal option.
Okay.
So someone is coming at 10. So I would say 10:30 or 10:45. Would that work for y'all today?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say 10:45. Just to make sure everybody's not sandwiched up together. And what they'll do is go over the options with you and see what might be available. Because there'll be things for you to do, Layla, to take responsibility. And again, as I said, maximize the learning possibility from this happening, okay?
Okay.
And then it'll be an agreement that you will agree to, and I will sign off on it if they bring me that today.
All right.
Okay. All right, we'll see you around 10:45.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm moving forward with Shailene Camacho. Ms. Camacho, good morning. Let me go ahead and have y'all unmute. Good morning.
Good morning.
So how are you today, Ms. Shailene?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Is that your mom with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is your mom's name?
Judixa Reyes, Yuritza.
Okay, and let's see, there's a number of things and I need to walk you through them. Okay, Shailene?
Okay.
So let's see, there are 2 offense dates. I'm going to start with the most recent, okay, because they're ordered that way in my packet and I don't want to lose track of things. But before we do that, I need to make sure, and I know that, it's probably a new experience. So did you understand the pleading options of guilty, not guilty, and the contest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I did get preliminary pleas from you on the other day when you were here on the 6th of October. And there's a speeding in a school zone. This is from September 28th. The fines and costs are $279. And I did receive a plea of guilty to that charge. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll work on sentencing kind of in a lump together at the end, okay?
Okay.
But I will accept your plea on that charge. I'm looking at some kind of option with teen court, but teen court is quick. So I don't know how much time we're going to need to address the concerns that I'm having. Just kind of depending on where the cases go. So the next one is a no driver's license charge from that same stop, and the fines and costs are $181. And Shailene, I did receive a guilty plea to that charge. And is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then at that time, I received a charge. No, that was that stop. And then there is another stop. Give me just one moment. Is that a duplicate? So we have 2 possession charges. Okay, which one? Do you have any clue? 2241156. Okay. Oh, all right. That helps quite a bit. Okay. Okay, then there is another stop September 17th, and it is a no driver's license charge, and the costs and fines being $181. I did receive a guilty plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then at that time, a charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. I don't see the complaint. And the fine just on screen. The fines and costs there are $286, and that's from that September 17th stop. And a plea of guilty I received from you. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Give me just a quick moment. I'm trying to confirm a couple of things with the staff and Mr. Mattson. I'm also trying to move forward. So just stay right there. Okay.
Okay.
And I know that we were talking to, let's see, Tanisha Bernard and Mr. Mattson. Where are we with regard to this matter?
Your Honor, we're gonna go ahead and set for final pretrial on this.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Bernard, we're scheduling that final pretrial. That's here at the court, November 30th at 2 p.m. Okay. And we will plan to see you at that time. Okay. Now you should have already received that in the information that you were given. It was the second setting on the form, but I think that we send a courtesy out by email. Is that right? Okay. Do you have that in your information?
Oh, I can't flip over right now because I'm on a Zoom, but I'm sure if you say it's there, then it's there, Judge.
Okay. We'll just email it to you just to be sure. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you in November.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you're
Am I-
free to.
Am I
Yes.
excused? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank
Free
you.
for today. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. And Mr. Mattson, I'm moving you forward with Kimani Powell. And so, Mr. Powell, can you unmute? So very good. So we can make sure that
Hello.
you're great, making sure your sound's working. So that's great. I'm going to move you over to that meeting. And then Mr. Mattson will also move over to that meeting. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just back, Ms. Camacho. And when I was looking, let's see. What is the paraphernalia? Can you tell? Before I move, okay. Before I move into the pleas that you've given, I need to kind of back up just a moment. We sent some paperwork to your email and it was yesterday. And I don't know if you, but it's kind of looking like this. And it's numbered heavily at the top, right, kind of a bright kind of thing. Are you in possession of those papers?
Yes, ma'am. I did receive them this morning.
Great. I just want to go over them with you. Don't sign them there. You'll just sign them when you come in because I'm going to put notes on the ones for the court. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the one labeled number 1 at the bottom is a magistrate warning for a juvenile. And at this time, I'm showing your age to be 16. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the rights that you have, you're charged. I know you know most of this already, but I still have to formally do it. You're charged with the offense of possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. You have the right to have an attorney present to advise you prior to and during any interviews or questioning by peace officers or attorneys that represent the state. You have the right to remain silent and you're not required to make a statement. Any statement that you make can be used against you in court, and you have the right to stop any interviews or questioning at any time. And when you sign it, your signature is an acknowledgement of understanding of these warnings. It is not an admission of guilt. Do you feel like you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll go ahead and have you sign that when you're in, okay?
Okay.
And we can kind of move forward. The next page has a big number 2 at the bottom. And I don't give out private information over the internet. So what I just want to confirm is that the address that is best for you begins with the numbers 86?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna just check off that you'll confirm that address when you get here. Okay, and mom, you and mom will sign when you get here. All right.
Okay.
And just the next page really is kind of related to that. It's labeled number 3. And you'll confirm again age and date of birth, and mom will as well. However, what you're doing there is just saying you understand until you turn, until your case is completed. Okay, you have an ongoing duty to keep your address current with the court. And that is a duty that you have until your case is zeroed out or a dismissal is obtained, whichever is most appropriate for the case. Okay. So you'll just be signing, saying, yes, I know that I have that duty. And you're going to actually receive a copy of everything that you signed. Okay.
Okay.
The one labeled number 4 says that if you just blow your case off, basically, I'm going to keep pursuing it until it's done. That's basically what that tells you. And it actually says, like, I can file contempt charges against you. So that's another way. And I'm required to give you the warning, but I really can't highlight enough. Once we make an agreement and that becomes the sentence, you need to follow up and do it. That's really what that's about. Okay. Okay. And then the ones labeled 5 and 6, 6 just being a signature page, on that one, that really tells you under what circumstances you can have a case completely erased from your record. And with traffic, I believe it's not addressed because that law changes all the time. They change it every legislative session. But I think that you have certain expunction. Expunction is a way of erasing your record, and you have certain rights. H kind of refers to dismissals through deferrals and moving violations, and then the G really addresses health and safety violations, and then B is for penal code violations. And the possession of drug paraphernalia charge, those are penal code violations. A single one can be expunged when you turn 17, provided you've completed your court order. However, that's a conviction can be expunged. And with teen court, we're looking at, it's kind of, there's a lot going on in your cases. So I'm still, in my mind, I'm kind of turning over the different options that we might utilize. And while I'm doing that, I'm just, once again, because your cases are kind of complicated, I need to just get Mr. Matson moving to his next case. We have the Powell case. That should be bringing Mr. Powell over now. Here we are. Thank you, Mr. Powell. Mr. Matson, where are we with these 2 charges?
Your Honor, we're going to go ahead and set for final pretrial, but I anticipate that both of these tickets will be resolved prior to that date.
Okay. So, Mr. Powell, that's scheduled now for November 30th at 2:00. And what Mr. Matson, the prosecutor, is telling me is that he anticipates y'all might have some agreements in the works, basically, but you're not off that docket. You're supposed to be here unless you call the clerk and confirm that it's been taken care of before that date. Okay. Otherwise, come on in and we'll sort out what's going on with it. Okay. You with me? Can you hear me, Mr. Powell?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I've asked you to respond a couple of different ways. Are you following what I'm saying?
I couldn't, it was going in and out.
Okay. So unless everything is done, you're here November 30th at 2:00. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, we'll see then perhaps. Okay. We'll plan on seeing you. Thank you.
Okay.
So, Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward with Jennifer Tamez. And Miss Tamez, just moving you on over to that meeting. And you've probably already sorted this out, but you'll be coming back into this meeting at the end.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Camacho, just kind of getting back to you. I do think that it would be a good idea. I'm not opposed to teen court process for you. I'm not entirely clear that we can do them on all the cases. We could possibly do a combination of teen court and deferral, or we might roll them together. I really think it would be great for you to come in and talk to the case manager. And I'm not trying to push it off on them, but when we're in live court, that's how we do it. And what's nice about this is you're not going to sit and wait here in the court for everybody else's turn first. But if I could schedule you for today around what would work for you, 11:30? 11. I've got one that I put at 11. So okay. So between 11 and 11:30 to come in and talk to them. Is that possible to do that?
Do you have
Espanol, we do.
No, I speak English.
Okay. Somebody who has very nice Spanish. So
does it have to be today?
yes.
Yes. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is your daughter is in trouble and there's $1,200 worth of fines here. We need to address it now.
Okay.
Okay, so we will see you at 11?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. I'm just making some notes. And Ms. Camacho, you're working, right? Shalene?
Like job wise?
Yeah, is that your income or somebody else's?
No, ma'am, that's my father's income.
Okay, yeah. I don't usually look at parent income other than there are 4 teen court fees of $80. And I'm not sure if we're doing that, but we might be looking to do that and then see what kind of alternatives we can come up with.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll see you then, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go. Just one moment. I need to hand this to the prosecutor. I'll be right back. I was thinking 2 possession charges, if it's interesting, might be worth putting on trial. And then the 2 deals, just having to focus on them. Because I'm kind of like them in varying up with the students over there to look at. And we haven't had a good possession. For the only charge we've had tobacco. We haven't had marijuana. That's an interesting discussion. It does depend on her ability to kind of articulate what the issue is. But she's 10 days of trial notice. So I'm sort of thinking let's double those down onto a trial and put the 2 DLs into are you getting it? Because she's about to turn 17 in December. So they may be working on it. I don't really know. But it's a thought. There are 2 marijuana charges.
One's being avoided.
Oh, okay. Yeah, setting that one. Yeah. And then putting the moving, there's a moving in the DL case. It's 2 DL cases and a moving, right? Yeah. I mean, speeding 36 and a 25, she's just blew through that school zone. And we might issue in possession at that stop or the other one. I think it's the other one. Something's going on with her.
No, it was using yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So she's speeding too and in possession.
No.
Okay. They were 2 separate events. Yeah. She's got something seriously struck. Yeah. How did she get a car and how did she get something? It would be an interesting trial, I think, for everybody and her included. And that one probably concerns me because It's not necessarily a gateway drug, but it can be if you've got stress. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's keep moving, folks. It's going smoothly, but my next person is Benjamin Cowart. And hi, Mr. Cowart. How are you this morning?
Not too bad. Good morning, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. I did receive your information and I received a kind of a write-up summary. Give me just a quick moment to look at that.
Sure.
Like 5 seconds here.
Let me get to a place where I can stand.
Okay. Okay. Expenses. Okay. Okay, a couple of questions I have just right off the bat, okay? And you don't have to stand for court purposes, but if it's more comfortable for you, well, that's just fine. So the registration charge, you're on time for that. And that's one of those compliance things. So is that a vehicle that you can bring up to date and we can do a dismissal if you get it registered?
Absolutely.
Okay. What is that already done or do you need some time to do that?
I need some time, ma'am. I went to get it inspected and there was a couple things that I need to get rounded up before it's completely ready.
Okay. How long do you think on a worst case scenario? What do you think time wise?
I think so. I will be paid not this coming Friday, but the Friday after that. So the Friday after that, it can be done for sure.
Okay. Let me just pull my calendar and look at that. See what we're talking about. So you're paid next Friday, not tomorrow, but a week from?
Yes, ma'am.
And after that, a lot of people have like a bunch of bills right then. Is it realistic to think that you could get this done before the 11th, or do you need more than the 2-3 weeks?
I think that I can definitely be in the tax assessor's office and have, the ball rolling and be only waiting on the registration to come from the state. But I do think that is a realistic time zone.
Yeah. So yeah, if we did it by say November 10th, you could come to the window and just do a dismissal. What we would be looking for, one, I need a signature today to give you an extension and keep you on time because it's a requirement on that statute. So that's one. When you go to register your vehicle, they're actually going to print out a sheet and it'll have a registration tag on it and you attach it to the car and you bring me that sheet.
Okay.
I am supposed, at that point, I am supposed to, at the front desk with the clerk, confirm that you paid the penalty fee because you have to disclose to them, hey, I got a ticket. They're going to charge you a penalty fee of like $8. If you don't tell them, you wind up with a $151 ticket over here that I can't dismiss. So people get nervous and they go like, no, it's not important. I just won't tell them about it. It doesn't matter. And then they get over here and it matters very much. So I like to just coach people like, don't do that. Just pay their little fee. Bring me the whole sheet. We dismiss here for $20 on 10th or the 11th. I could do either.
Okay.
Of November. Will November 11th work?
Yes, that'll be perfect for me. November 11th.
Yes. And we'll work out how to get your signature on that in a moment. The next question I have is the stop for October 5th. You were given a citation for no insurance. And I'm showing that you stayed on time and you purchased the policy.
I'm sorry, Judge, I can't hear you. That
Mr. Henderson, you need to stop hitting the mute button. I've had to remute you 5 times. Please stop hitting your mute button. When it's your turn, you can hit the mute button, okay? Unmute yourself then, okay? All right, well, I guess that's an okay. He froze now, so hopefully we're still good. Okay, so Mr. Cowart, still on your turn. The insurance case. So I'm just looking real quick. Give me a second. Okay, you got it on the date of the stop. Give me one moment to look real quickly. He's on time. He hasn't had a ticket for that. Is that right? Not yet, because he's got another violation. Oh, he's got a second one. Holy heck. Goodness. Okay, I just missed it. The first one was. Okay. Okay. So just let me back up. On September 1, you had a stop and no insurance ticket was issued. And on that one, you're on time. That was September 1st. Were you insured by any chance on September 1st?
I wasn't. And actually, if you don't mind, I want to go back because you originally said the one that we just previously spoke about, it was a registration charge.
Okay.
I thought that both of the tickets there were both failure to maintain financial responsibility. So I thought they were both insurance.
There are 2 insurance cases and 1 registration. So there are 3 charges. Okay. And actually, I'm not surprised because they extended you on the registration at the clerk's desk, but we didn't get any information from you. And so, yeah. And so I'm thinking that in the excitement of looking at the insurance case, it just somehow got overlooked. But they did keep you on time, so nothing negative happened with regard to that. And you're still in that, dismissal option. Okay, so that's the registration. But that was on the ticket, and I don't know. Let me look at that ticket. It's also a possibility. Sometimes, although I don't see it on this type of cases as often. Every now and then, they didn't issue at the time of the stop, and then they issued after. But that's usually not with that type of charge, right? It's on the written ticket. There was a no insurance charge, as an expired registration charge, and then they made a note of warning on speeding and change of license address. So,
I was not informed of that. Whenever I was issued that, I do understand that it is on the ticket, as you say, but verbally, I was told that I was receiving a ticket that day for failure to maintain financial responsibility. I was not given a verbal. I didn't even know about the address change thing.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, they don't have to tell you verbally, but they did write it down.
Okay.
And then there's information here about the warning. So I'll put that at the front desk. You can take a look at it when you're here.
Sure.
But no harm, no foul, because actually they didn't write all those tickets and you're on time. So you're still eligible for the dismissal. And it sounds like the registration was in fact out. So I think we're right where we need to be. I'm not seeing any issues with any of that. Give me just one moment.
Sure, thank you.
Mr. Matson, for some reason, Jennifer Temez's link will not allow me to move her over. It's just not letting me. I think that we're going to have her hang up and dial back in.
I can go let her know, Your Honor.
Thank you. It's just freezing her in that room. It won't let me move her out. So thank you. Yeah, let her know. Okay, so Mr. Coward, I was trying to see if I could get you to a dismissal on the insurance charge from October, but because state law, let me think. Actually, same day insurance can be dismissed. Give me another moment. I've got to dig a little deeper. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Temez. Ms. Temez, we'll be with you in a moment. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I'll be with you in a moment, Mr. Matson, Ms. Temez. Give me just a moment. I'm working on a different thing. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me move Ms. Temez and Mr. Matson forward. Where are we with the parking charge?
Your Honor, I'll be filing a motion to reduce on this ticket.
Okay. Can you let me know what's the amount?
The fine is currently set at 200. I will be reducing it to 50.
Okay. We'll look for that reduction to come in. I'll sign it. The court costs and fines, then what will they total?
The total cost will be 64, Your Honor.
64?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Temez, are you going to be paying that today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hang on a moment, and as soon as I get that, I'll sign it, then I'll let you know, and at that point, you'll be free to pay it, okay?
Okay.
So just stay on the meeting for a bit till we get that done.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward with Alder Barrios Calderon. And Mr. Barrios, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and let me just move you over to that meeting with Mr. Prosecutor, our prosecutor, Mr. Matson. All right. Okay, let me just wait for that to happen on Tamez. Can we do reductions without him sending it? Okay. All right. Miss Tamez will be with you shortly. We have a way to do that without waiting on this.
That's fine.
It'll be faster than you know it. Okay. So let me back up, Mr. Coward. On the no insurance charge from September 1st, you have requested a deferral on that charge. That one is $281. I do show that you have the ability to pay. It does look like you're kind of coming out of some hardship. So I don't know exactly, you know, when people are shooting out of hardship, which kind of appear to be doing very, very effectively, that's great news. But sometimes there's like a backlog in their life of things to deal with. So I get that you might not, in contrary to how it looks, you might not be able to just fork over $281. And I already know that from our discussion regarding your vehicle. But on a deferral, we do a payment. We have to figure out payment. So I can break that payment up as a condition of your deferral and set it out just a bit on the calendar. I can break it into 3 payments, which turns into like 94. Hold on, let me get it. 94, 94, and 93. I'm realizing that by November 11th, you're going to be dealing with your vehicle problems, you know, getting it solved. So one option we could have is just to wait 2 more weeks and do a payment. I'm saying the 25th of November, but my brain is saying that's going to be Thanksgiving Day. So we will not be open. Could you make a $94 payment the day before on the 24th, or else the day after Thanksgiving weekend on the 28th of November?
Mind me a moment to check my calendar. Do you know if I press my home button, if it'll leave the Zoom?
So, if you do what?
If I like press my home button or go to another app?
I just don't know. But here's what I'll tell you. If that happens, go get your information and then just log back in and I'll work you right back in. So don't panic.
Let me check.
It probably will do what it looks like it's doing. It's just pausing you. Is Ms. Temez ready to go? Okay, Ms. Temez, you can unmute and let me just talk to you for a minute. So, Ms. Matson, I'm glad you're back in. We went ahead and did that reduction based on your standing motion and your oral representation to the court.
Okay.
So I'm not looking for you to send that.
Thank
Ms.
you, Judge.
Gomez, you can call the clerk and make payment over the phone. You can swing by and make payment, or you can go online to the court's website and make payment there. What's it gonna be for this one?
I'll call and do it on the phone.
Okay, you have that number?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll let you go to do that. It's ready.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, and
Judge, I'm back.
yes, I see you, and I'll be right back with you. I'm going to actually talk to Mr. Matson and Mr. Barrios Calderon. I don't know if I'm doing his name any justice, but we'll get where we need to be. This is a failing to yield the right-of-way turning left at an intersection. And where are we with regard to this matter?
We're going to go ahead and set for final pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Barrios, do you go by just Barrios or Barrios Calderon? How do you do it?
It's just Barrios. I don't go with Calderon.
Okay, Mr. Barrios, we will see you November 30th at 1 o'clock, okay? Should be on the paperwork that we sent you, but, you know.
You guys will send that paperwork?
Yes, when we set this meeting, we set that meeting too. We just set them all at the same time and send you one thing out, and plus the link to this meeting. But we attached, there were instructions, and then also there should be an email with a letter with those two settings. Is that what we're doing now?
I'll send him another email.
Okay, well, I'm just checking. Yeah.
Normally, but
We're just going to email it to you, and after court, I'm going to get clear on what it is we're doing and make sure I'm telling people the right thing. So
Okay.
we'll email it again to you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to let you go. And Mr. Matt, I hope you're well, and we will get with you later and find out how well you are, but I'm going to keep moving with court. Your docket is complete.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. Okay. Okay, all right, Mr. Cowart, we're back on, and it actually just paused you. It didn't take you out of the meeting, so that meant is on the screen. The screen went blank until you came back, so that works fine for the court. You were checking on dates for payment. How did that look for you in the beginning? I'm sorry, towards the end of November.
So the day after Thanksgiving would work best for me.
Okay, and so that's going to be the 28th because it's the day after Thanksgiving is Saturday, and we're not here. But I mean, we could do it online, but it's not going to receipt in until Monday anyway. So November 28th on that payment. That's going to be on your paperwork. And then we're moving forward to figure out the next two payments, okay? So there's two ways to look at this. One is to think just 2 weeks later on the 9th or the 23rd of December, which is not generally a great time for people money-wise. But, and I didn't look at whether you have kids and all that stuff, but I didn't yet, look at that because I'm kind of letting you have the reins for a minute and tell me what works. So what will work there to do the next payment of $94?
Sure. The 2 weeks after the original one would work best for me.
Okay. And we want to land that on a Friday?
Say again?
We normally want to land that on a Friday, right?
That's fine.
Okay. You're paid on Fridays is what I'm hearing every 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the 25th you got paid. Skip the second. Payment on the 9th is okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I would skip the next pay date, which is Christmas Eve, basically, and go to the 6th of January. Will that work?
Absolutely.
Okay. And you're in an age bracket. No, it's not a moving violation. So I don't need a class, but I am going to do the deferral for, I need to look calendar wise, 120 days. So it's going to end. It's not your, it was me. Ending the deferral would wrap up on the 21st of February on that charge. And this is the September 1st charge. One thing I need is insurance. You've already provided it. It'll say insurance for the deferral period, but we're just going to scan that insurance in today.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. And then I guess I'm wondering if you want to recall your plea for the insurance case from October 5th and talk to the prosecutor about whether he's willing to dismiss. You narrowly do not fit his handshake agreement with the court. It's more than that because it's a written agreement, but normally what he says he's willing to sign off on. And I don't have the option to throw out cases of insurance if the insurance wasn't in effect at the time of the stop. And it was the same day, but if you had had an accident at this time, it wouldn't have covered it, I think. So, I mean, I don't actually know that. Were you previously insured and it lapsed or?
Not on that vehicle, no.
Okay. All right. Well, with the same company even? Okay. Because sometimes if you had like a policy over here and a policy over here and they're actually linked, but we can't see it. So that's sometimes where I go, oh no, they were covering him. He got a new car or whatever, a new to him car or whatever happened. So I'm just kind of probing to see if there's any alleviation from doing it this way. But so I'm not saying that he would dismiss. Sometimes he will say, you pled to one, I'll dismiss the other. Sometimes he doesn't. And then if he doesn't, you're no worse off. You missed it only because he will only do a dismissal same day or next day insurance with no accident if there's no priors for the previous 24 months. And that's the one thing that you don't have. So if you want to talk to him about it and see if he's willing to do it as a part of a plea bargain, because the other case, it's a conversation you might be willing to have and it could be helpful. If you don't want to do that, we'll just move forward with it.
I'd actually love to speak with the prosecutor.
Okay.
I do understand that's retracting my previous plea, and
I haven't accepted it yet, so I can do that.
Awesome.
I'm just withdrawing the plea at this time to talk to the prosecutor, mainly because you have already expressed in the literature and information that you gave me some equities that have to do with, where you found your situation for so long. And those might be something that are worth, the circumstances might be worth a discussion.
Thank you, Judge.
So I would schedule that for Zoom on November 17th. Can you do that date?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Okay, we'll send you the link to that. That connects to a final pretrial date that usually will get canceled if the case is resolved. But that final pretrial date would be December 14th at 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, I'm going to let the clerk know all this stuff. Now, the first thing is I need signatures on the extension for the registration, and then a signature on the deferral, and a signature on the pretrial. So we need you to either come by the court, or we can email you everything if you can print it, sign it, and email it back. So what will work best for you?
Definitely coming in.
Okay, it's easier because you get a copy of everything. When should we look for you? What time today will you be here?
I can be there immediately after this. So 11.
Okay, yeah, no rush. All right, so we'll see you about 11 o'clock, and we'll do that extension, we'll do that deferral, and we'll get you signed up for the pretrial.
And so the just to make sure the extension is giving me time in order to get the registration for my vehicle.
Yeah, that way you can get that dismissed with a $20 dismissal fee instead of $181.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Yes, you're welcome. Mr. Coward, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a blessed day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Moving forward with William Richardson. Good morning, Mr. Richardson. How are you, sir? Go ahead and unmute so that I can understand. Thank you.
Hello.
You cut out, so let's try again. How are you this morning?
Doing good. Are you?
Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you. So give me a moment. I'm just looking. Yeah, so you had requested a deferral, and you entered a plea of no contest, but I'm not going to grant the deferral at this time. I can look at your financial situation and grant payments, or you can have up to 30 days without an increase in the fine to make payment.
Yeah, payment.
Okay. Do you need more than 30 days?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll just order that it be paid within 30 days. And you can pay at the clerk's desk at any time during this 30-day period. But if there's a balance after 30 days, there's money that gets added because it's required by state law. So just don't let it go by because you don't want it to go up. Okay?
Man.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Richardson.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Cheers.
Okay, moving forward with Shane Schweitzer. And Mr. Schweitzer, can you get on screen and unmute?
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. There's a registration charge, and actually this one you're on time.
Yes, ma'am.
And you did enter a plea of no contest or guilty actually, and requested a payment plan. But before we take that step, I guess my question is, can you get the vehicle registered? Is it already registered?
No, ma'am. I can't get it registered right now. I actually have it parked at the moment due to an exhaust leak that I have on it, which I can't drive. With that, also, I have to replace the back window because I ended up busting it out back in I think maybe early September.
Okay.
I got angry. I threw something inside of my truck, busted my back window, and I got to replace my passenger side taillight cover because the clip that holds the main bulb is burnt out. So that bulb doesn't stick in there no more. So I have to replace that as well before I can get it registered.
So realistically, how quickly could you get it done?
That I'm not 100% sure. I'm still trying to find a quote for my back window. So far, I've found one that will do it for like $200 and some. And then for the back tail light, I just had to go to Pick and Pull and just grab another one. But I'm out of a job right now, so I don't have any source of income at the moment.
Okay. So if I gave you a 30-day extension, do you want to try and see if maybe you can get work and get this done and maybe get it dismissed? Or do you just want to go on into sentencing at this time?
I can try to do the 30 days because I actually have an interview to go to right after this, and I'm putting in applications. And I do have insurance on the vehicle. The insurance is valid until January, from what I was told. So all I got to do is just replace the back window and my taillight cover, and I should have it registered by then.
Okay. All right. So I just need your signature on an extension, and I need to let you know that when you register it, let them know you got a ticket. They will charge you an $8 penalty fee.
Yeah.
And then when you come back to get it dismissed here, there's a $20 dismissal fee, but that's just better than $151. You know?
Yeah, that's way better. Trust me.
$28 versus $151. That's a no-brainer. So, what time can you come by to sign?
I don't know how long this interview is going to take, but I can definitely come by after the interview.
Okay, why don't we say no later than 2?
Yeah, that should be no problem.
Okay, I'll just put around 2.
All righty.
Okay, we'll look for you at the window here at the court again. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. You're good to go. Bye-bye. Okay, so moving forward, Mr. Henderson, can you unmute?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
Good morning.
good morning. So, the, where we were, yeah, so I was trying to sort out with you. Hang on. Okay, yeah, so give me just one moment. I have something I need to check on with regard to your case.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just gonna see. Mm. No, she's in. Mhm. Can you call the I don't understand the notes in this case. Um, there's a note from Yolanda that just says, sorry, this is Mr. Henderson, Demetrius, and there's a no driver's license charge. So I've got a note that I don't understand from Yolanda in the notes. Go into, yeah. Yeah. So look at the notes real quickly. And then we need to get Ryan on the telephone. So he was supposed to. So see on this note, who filed that? How would that have even been filed? Who would have filed that? She removed it, but removed what? There's no note about it. Well, I'm less interested in that. I would like to see what Ryan discovered because Ryan was going to have detectives just give a quick look at it. And he got off the phone. I didn't remember to ask him because, well, things were a little chaotic with him this morning. So can we call him and ask him if he was able to look at that case? Because I didn't put it on his docket because it's a KPF. A CPF, that is. Well, I do. It's okay. Yeah, let's just try it. 254 493. All right, let me try it. Write it down. 5198. It's a city cell, so I mean. Just, I'm kind of trying to keep this on the QT, but just one more second. Just so the judge was having you look at this Demetrius Henderson's the no deal with the
driver's license. Mr. Demetrius, did you look at this case?
It's the one that where we had an issue with.
Do you want to log back in?
Yes, if he wants to talk to him. That would be best, I think. Okay, Mr. Henderson. Mr. Henderson,
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I actually have the prosecutor coming back into the meeting.
Okay.
I have asked that he talk to you about this other matter. It's technically not something that he normally looks at, identity theft after a conviction. That's normally prior to conviction. So I'm going to have him talk with you a little bit and we'll see what we're trying to do with that one. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Then the disruption of school activities, let's see. That we already had a plea. And then the juvenile curfew violation, you entered a plea last time. And I just held off on all of that because, you know, we wanted to give you an opportunity to decide, you know, where you were taking this. So why don't you talk to Mr. Mattson first? We also sent you a payment application for these other cases. And I'm not saying that we got it back, but I'll double check. But did you send it in?
No, I have it right here. I'll fax it to you. I'll try to get it to you today. Fax it over to you today.
Okay, well, I can reschedule you. Otherwise, I need it today. So let's get Mr. Mattson in, and we'll probably be rescheduling anyway. But this stuff is just sitting pending against you, and it's not getting, it's not clearing up so far. So far, we've done nothing to clear it up. We're just still digging. Normally, I don't recall warrants until I get that income information because
right.
So I really kind of need it today, but I can reschedule you. Let's wait for him to come in and we'll see what he wants to say, if anything, about the license charge.
Okay.
You have a fire alarm with a battery that's going dead. Did you know?
Oh, me?
Yes.
You say I have a what?
You have a fire alarm that keeps indicating that your battery's going dead on that fire alarm. Just let you know.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it goes beep. I don't think it's.
I don't hear it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you're talking about in a house. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're talking about in a house. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I need a battery to change the battery in there. Sorry.
It's okay. I just want you to know because it's a hazard. Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Hudson, Mr. Henderson and I have visited briefly. He has a charge here of no driver's license. A conviction has been entered because a plea was entered. And the signatures, when I looked at them, there's just all different signatures. Every signature we have from him is different. We scanned some identification into that file that he presented now, but that's been newly added. It was not at the time that the plea was entered. There was a signature, but anyway, I think if you recall, I had mentioned that I might ask you to look at that. And so I'm going to see if you guys will just go into see if the two of you will break out into that breakout room and just see if there's a discussion that needs to be had.
Sure thing, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Demetrius Henderson.
Yeah, I'm here.
Mr. Mattson is not your representative. He represents the state, but I did ask him to take a look, and I think he probably did look at least briefly. But as I mentioned before, we may need to reset the case, but I am moving you onto his docket right now to just see where we are. Okay, so that's happening. I just wondered, are you in to talk to me about one of the students? I'll be right with everybody. Your base.
The deal is not a change one.
No, yeah.
So I had them do a liar 25.
Are they actually going to be able to do it?
They've already paid.
Okay.
I said the only way I will prove that is if you
Go on
in front
right
of me
now.
picked them right now. And they did. They signed up and are paid up. And you just need to attend the class.
Right. Okay. Great. Thank you.
All right.
We just had quite a few this morning where the normal solutions just don't fit. Yeah, they don't fit. They might work, but they don't fit exactly. Okay, I'm just gonna keep moving. So, Ms. Dunbar, can you get on the screen, ma'am? Or are you on the phone? I can't remember. I think you might be on the phone. Letitia Dunbar, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, thank you. So I'm just actually with your case, what we're kind of doing is we're having trouble with the existing court order. And it was $70 every 2 weeks, which, you know, I could see how that might be a challenge.
Yeah.
So are you working at this time?
No, ma'am. I'm really just going like day by day trying to make money. Like I cut grass, I fix cars and stuff like that. So it's just, you know, comes when it comes basically right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's too high of a payment plan. And are you paying the bills?
But I'm sorry.
The bills that you listed, are these your bills?
What did I list it?
You listed rent of $200, a water bill of $75, a cell phone bill of $65, and then like gas and food.
Yes, ma'am. Because I'm living with my parents right now.
Okay, you're living with family?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I can lower this to $25 every month.
I don't really. I'm trying to really get it paid because this is the one that's holding my, you know, my license. So I really just need that because I'm really trying to get a job with, you know, moving trucks and stuff because, you know, I could really be making some money. But is there anything like else I could do, like to get it done faster?
Yeah, I'm working on documenting that. So okay. Hang on. All right. So actually, the income that you disclosed is not correct. It's really, I mean, you're trying, and I get that, but are you getting food stamps or any services right now?
No, ma'am.
You haven't applied, right?
No.
Okay.
And the last time I did, I think a year or so ago, and they only gave me like $15.
Well, goodness. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Of work. Okay.
That's milk and bread.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so what you gave, the information you gave me was a lot more hopeful. And so if you did that there too, then they may have made an incorrect decision. I don't know. But I can go ahead and order community service.
Okay.
And are you in the Colleen area?
Yes, ma'am, in Colleen.
Okay, so I have a little difficulty with Colleen only because you have to find your own provider. Okay. I've tried over there and places just come and go too quickly. So it has to be,
I can
listen just for a moment. So it has to be, a nonprofit under state law. Okay. Which means they've filled out their paperwork and they're up to date for nonprofit status. And you're going to need to verify that. But churches, nursing homes, food pantries, animal service type places, those are all good places to check. If you have a place that you already volunteer time with, and some people do, if you do, you just need to make sure that when you're going to try to credit these hours, that it's a nonprofit, because legally I can't accept it if it's not. So I can give you 58 hours total to take care of all 3 cases. And I can give you a deadline right now of December 20th. But as soon as you turn it in, if it's before then, and I can verify the hours and credit you, I can clear the license. So it's a good time of year to do that because there's a lot of nonprofit organizations that do a lot of activity this time of year because we're heading into the holidays. So do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am, I could do that.
Okay, so I need to get one signature on one form and give you a fairly big packet of stuff to help you.
Okay.
One is a timesheet to verify your hours the way that we need them. We show you how to document them. I also need to give you rules, the list of rules, to do what I will and won't accept. And then there's a liability waiver that you sign with the city that says that you understand that there's no coverage if you're injured. Okay. No privacy if you're doing community service. So can you come by the court to sign for that? Or should we email that to you? You print it, sign it, and send the single sheet back.
Oh yeah, I could just come up there.
Okay.
I could do it today.
Okay, what time? It has to be today. What time today? When can we look?
Within the next hour.
Okay, I'll say by noon.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you at the window.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You're good to go.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Alexis Chappell, can you get on screen, please? And unmute.
Hello, 1 second. Good morning.
Good morning. Why so late to court today?
I had overslept, and then I'm in a whole nother sort of time zone.
Oh, where are you?
I'm in Miami, Florida.
Okay. All right. So let's see. We have an older case. No, it's not older. It has fines and costs of $279. You're looking to do community service. And is the rent that you're paying out there your rent?
I'm not paying any rent. I pay rent at home in Austin.
How are you paying that rent?
Well, I be dancing and stuff, but it hasn't really been that good for me right now.
Okay.
But that was my last time paying rent, so my lease is up.
Oh, okay. I'm just making notes.
Yeah, I just was gonna probably have a payment plan though, because I can't find no community service here. It's hard because I have a background. I mean, if you can probably find some resources for me, I don't know, because I try to call around and really accept like people like just to come in there. They want to do a background check, and I'm probably not going to be here long for the background check to go through, and they probably still deny me because I have.
Because you have what?
A felony.
Okay. Okay, I can't find a provider in every city of the country where people live that drove through Temple. But I can tell you that as long as it's a nonprofit, wherever you will happen to be, it's fine. But I have to be able to verify their nonprofit status. So I mean, like in my town, for example, if you go to a church, yeah, they want a background check. But if you go to a food pantry, they don't, because they feed everybody. They feed people with records, and they feed people who don't have records, and they don't. It's just not something that they worry about. So
when I was in Seattle and I had called one of those, like, yeah, we need for volunteers now, they got to do background checks. It was in Seattle.
Okay, well, it's kind of up to you. You can, there's $279, and we can, figure that out, or you can do community service, but you just kind of need to tell me what you want to do at this point.
79.
What now?
$279 for the ticket.
Yes.
Okay. And if I did the payment plan, how would that work?
If what?
If I did the payment plan, why would that work?
Why would it work? It would work because you paid it.
No. If I did a payment plan, how would it work? When would it start? Like, how would I do that?
We'd start sorting that out right now. Can you pay $50 today?
You said 50?
Can you pay $50 today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then, we can do that every month.
Okay. So it'll just be once a month?
Right, so I need to get a signature on this, and obviously you're out of state. Can you, if I email you the payment plan, can you print it and sign it and email it back to me, or, yeah, okay. Then, once you do that, then you go online and make payment, or you can call a clerk and they'll do a payment over the phone, either one.
Okay.
Okay, we'll email you that payment plan, and as long as I get it back today, I'll approve it.
Okay.
Okay, and then you've got a payment due today, and then it's every month on the 20th.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thanks, Miss Chappell.
Miss Pearson.
Thank you, Miss Chappell.
You're welcome.
It's Person.
Person. Yeah.
All right, you have a good day, ma'am. Okay. Mr. Matson, give me just a moment. Does that make sense to you? Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Matson, let me hear from you first.
Judge, my review of specifically the citation.
Yes.
And the payment plan, I noticed on both of those, or not the payment plan, citation, the judgment where the defendant was to sign their plea of no contest, and the payment plan, actually, all three, the signatures appear to be an R, and then the person signing realized that they put the wrong letter and they wrote Mr. Henderson's name over that. So I am inclined to agree with Mr. Henderson that someone was portraying themselves as him.
Sorry, I'm looking for that. That is such a piercing bell, is that? Where did you say? I'm sorry, I'm going back through it. I don't see the payment plan signature in here. Okay, hold on, let me get it pulled back up. I'll just pull it up. I need you to pull this from Questus, please. I don't have Questus. The payment plan signature on the no deal charge. It's not in LT.
I believe in LT, Your Honor. It's the document just titled Documents from Questies. I think that pulls up everything that I'm looking at.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. There's the bottom.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what he came in and we haven't signed. And I've got the signature for Fort he signed. Okay. Go back up to it, please. Okay, so the way that we would work on that one is that you would have to file a Pro tunc.
I can do that.
Okay, I'll send you one, and you can look at it. And Mr. Henderson, I'm gonna have to mute you. I can't take that beat. I don't. It's really loud on our end. I don't know how you can stand it, but anyway, I'll unmute you in a minute because I do want to talk to you. Okay, I'll find that and email it to you, Mr. Metzen. Because those are rare and I have to find it. So I'm going to reschedule that one for a couple of weeks. And I have to reschedule him anyway, because he's got a payment plan that we need to start on, but I don't have the necessary paperwork to even start that. I keep sending it to him and he's got it now, but he hasn't sent it back. So I think at this point, we're going to need to regroup anyway. So I'm just going to reset everything on the court's motion at this point for another Zoom, and that would be, let's just all shoot for November 17th. I have availability on both our dockets, and Mr. Henderson will email a reset to Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Metzen, we'll put that one case on your docket just simply for the fact that it'll stay on your to-do list.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. All right. We're good for today. Thank you, Mr. Metzen, for getting back on. We appreciate it.
Sure thing, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Henderson.
Yeah, I'm here.
I know you heard and I saw you taking notes. We'll send you a new meeting time and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay. Get those forms, payment applications to me on your other two cases. And, you know, it's not too late to start thinking about getting those paid because they're old and they're holding up your license too.
Yeah. I will. Can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah. If I can get both of the payments done in 2 months, if I have the money to get them paid in like the first 2 to 3 months, I'll go ahead and get them out the way. I just need the information to where I would be paying it to.
Right. So two things. You pay the court. It's just the same number and email and everything.
Oh,
but
okay.
I can't approve a payment plan because you haven't filled out my forms yet.
Oh, I'm sending them over to you today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I needed them already. So, write me a letter when you send them in and I'll see if we can improve something before the next meeting, but we still have a meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay. I'll be set for in 2 weeks.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Thank you.